Good morning, everybody. Happy, I guess it's almost afternoon now. Happy Tuesday, March 1st. I'm making this quick recording because I wanted to address two things. One, I wanted to let you know about some things that happened at the board meeting, which I will tell you about in just a minute. But first, I wanted to address what's happening in the world today and the stress and the challenge that might be for us individually in our organization. So I just want to acknowledge that there was yet again another war that started last week, and I know for myself, it's very stressful, and I assume that it is for others in this organization as well. I just really want to acknowledge that fact. On top of everything else that's happened in the last couple of years, to have this added really large emotional stressor can really for some people, it may feel like it's hard to focus, maybe hard to work, those kinds of things. So I just want to acknowledge that and just say, I really hope that each and every one of you takes the time to figure out what you need in order to support your own well-being and to thrive, and what that, even in the midst of all of this chaos and uncertainty and the emotional challenges, that you do find a way to take care of yourself. And that, of course, will look different for every single one of us. I want to, for myself, there's a lot of conversations I have in my head, and a way for me to make sense of what's happening at this time and how to continue moving forward. And it stems from, at the end of the day, it's about, Mark and I were having a conversation, and Mark was talking about the need to, continue to do the work that we do as a way to move forward. And I totally agree that for myself, one of the ways that I really can make sense of everything that's happening is around having meaning. Even though I don't know how to solve that, I can't stop that war, I can't really have that direct impact, I can actually have a really meaningful impact in my local community through the job that I do. And I feel really honored and privileged to be in this role, to be able to have that kind of impact. I know that if I was working at a different type of organization where I would have a harder time attributing meaning, I think I would struggle even more than the struggles that it is today. I think it's helpful for me to be in a place where I know that in some way I am contributing to my community, and I'm really making a difference for the people around me, and feel really honored that I get to do that. So I remind myself that this war is so horrible. And at the same time, I hold that. And at the same time, I also hold that there are wars happening all the time around the world in other countries that just don't have as much power, and generally are people from the BIPOC community that don't get the media attention and the same level of horror and lack of human dignity, all that's happening now between Ukraine and Russia. What's happening in other countries on a regular basis, and it's just that it's not focused on as much. And so it helps me just to remember that it's still the same. It's another piece of this puzzle. But my role for me is to really take care of myself and to do my job. For me, I get to have an impact through my job. So I feel really lucky about that. So whatever that looks like for you, however you make meaning, however you make, you take care of yourself, whatever that looks like, please do that. I encourage you, whether it's taking a vacation day or taking some time out to cry or whatever that is, just know that we're all humans here. At the end of the day, we're humans, and trying to help ourselves be in a safe and stable space in order to continue moving forward is top priority. So I just wanted to call that out. Okay, now I'm going to transition to our board meeting and what happened. We had a board meeting on February 18th, and I haven't had a chance. And I was looking at the schedule and I realized, oh, we don't have a staff meeting coming up because we're going to be in a training. So I wanted to make sure and call out one thing in particular, and then I'll highlight just a few other things. But the main thing I wanted to call out is that the board did approve a motion at this last meeting to allow us to prioritize people who are in programs that we consider to be that the training fund designates as priority programs. So things like heat programming, our RN to BSN programming that we're actually funding, or we're in charge of filling those classes. We're responsible to help get those things done, that we can prioritize those people in our tuition assistance process. So basically what that means is similar to what was agreed on some time ago at the board meeting, that apprentices are able to essentially jump to the front of the tuition assistance line. So too would be the case for heat members and other programming that we ourselves are putting together, or we're part of trying to fill those classes, that we can prioritize those things. So there was a motion around that got approved. So I just wanted to let folks know about that, because that will have an impact. We do have to still develop the processes and procedures around that, but just know that got approved and we're moving that forward. The second thing I want to address is that there was a motion that I brought forward to allow us to use RN bargaining unit budget funds to support members who might be in ProTech, or more usually in service bargaining units, who are on an RN pathway, to help fund them. There was quite a bit of discussion about this. Where it landed is that we actually are I'm putting together a subcommittee of board members who will discuss it even further. And really it's about creating the appropriate confines around that motion, the language, so that it's used appropriately and within the proper scope that people are comfortable with. So we're working on that language. So it does look like eventually something will get approved around allowing us to use RN bargaining unit money for other bargaining unit members, specifically on the RN pathway. But we're going to establish what those boundaries are first. And of course, there's still no guarantees, because it has to get approved by the board. But that is a significant motion that's under consideration right now and could come into effect even prior to the next board meeting. So I just wanted to make sure and call that out. And I'm looking at our agenda here just to remind myself of some other things. Other things that happened were really minor. So we're going to be adding the new employers to our plan of benefit book. So we have to make sure and do that. We reviewed our financials, and I think that, and then the other thing was that we had officer elections for every year. We have officer elections for the chair, co-chair, and the treasurer and secretary. So we had those elections were held as well. And those are really the main things. There were other little things, but those are the big things that happened at this board meeting. Actually, I will call out one more thing that happened at the board meeting, which is that we showcased Arletta video at the board meeting and had Arletta come to the meeting. And I don't know if, for those of you who aren't familiar, Arletta is somebody who came through our IHAP program and became a certified nursing assistant, and now works at Swedish. She also got her husband engaged, and he also went through the same program, went through our NAC program. And so the video is phenomenal. She's amazing. Her family's amazing. And it really was an inspirational moment with the board members. Just watch this video and see people really lean in. And I think it's helpful, not just for us, but for our board members. When we get to see these stories, it really makes a difference and helps people connect at a more emotional level, which then helps us and them to continue to do the work that we need to do at the very logical level. So anyway, it was a great moment at the board meeting, and so sharing that too. Okay, that's it for today. I hope you all have a great rest of the day. I'm about to go into the lunch with Laura. For those of you who are able to make it, I look forward to seeing you there. And I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Have a great day. Bye.